Thank you, Nina.
So
good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to thank Antonia and her team for organising today's event to showcase Ireland and the strong heritage in the textile, design, craft and manufacturing. It's a privilege to be given the opportunity to present to an international audience through this World Hope Forum and talk about our history and how our company plays a very important role in preserving Ireland's strong textile tradition and sorry, just one, I've lost my mouse here. And it has certainly been already very inspiring to listen to the other speakers and the sense of the commitment and the passion and dedication to their crafts and businesses. So just our mill is located in a small village in Kilcar, which is in the southwest of Donegal. And you can see from this image, just the mill is just at the bottom right hand of the image on the bottom right hand corner. So the parish of Kilcar has a population of around 1,100. And there would be approximately 165 people working in various textile companies in the area. So it's very important for this locality, the industry. I suppose over the last number of years, the increased accessibility of global sourcing of textile production has put the industry in Ireland under pressure, and it contracted in the last 50 years. You know, today there are only a few mills in Ireland still spinning, and I think it's important to reference these companies. There's Cushendale Woolen Mills in County Kilkenny, Kerry Woolen Mills in County Kerry, Studio Donegal, who are very close neighbours of ours. They've been mentioned in the previous presentation with Francis at Stable of Ireland. And I think it's very important to sort of reference how important the Irish customer has been to the survival of our industry. The company was a semi-state organisation up to 2006, and it faced potential closure due to a decline in the manufacturing in Ireland. A group of Irish customers came together and they met with the board of directors of Uders and Giltra, and they requested that the board should look to private investors to take over the business. So in 2007, I started with the mill, and even today, through the world is facing huge challenges to undo all the damage that we have inflicted to our planet. We remain very optimistic for the future. There is hope. And one key area, and is very much fundamental to the part of the DNA of Donegal Yarns, is the collaborations and the partnerships working together. So we've been working on a number of projects, both local and international, and the whole focus has been supporting the wool industry in Ireland. So lots of these different projects are traditional processes in the weaving, the spinning, the hand knitting and machine knitting. But we've also been working with sort of textile universities and looking at innovation, R&D to utilize this wonderful renewable resource that we have in Ireland. More and more, we're seeing the consumer is placing more emphasis on traceability and transparency of the product, which is very important for the future of our industry. We're a very proud company, and our strong provenance and heritage is very important, and remembering and respecting the skills and the craftsmanship that we have inherited. So just to give you a little bit of a background to sort of the origin of the famous Donegal Tweed, it dates back to a cottage industry going back into the early 1800s. The quality of the land in Donegal was not ideal for growing arable crops, and there was a strong tradition of sheep farming and breeding in Donegal, both for the meat, and the wool back then was a very valuable resource, which was either traded in local marketplaces or it was kept for homespinning and knitting and weaving. And you can see some of these lovely images back in the late 1800s of the shearing of the sheep, the trading of the wool, and the hand spinning using the old original Donegal spinning loom. So this is a typical sort of production line in the 1800s. Where you have the, it was a very much a community driven and very family orientated, with the men sort of looking after the dyeing, the women spinning, just the ladies knitting and crocheting, and then within the cottages you have the traditional Donegal loom, which it's great to see Mario and in his facility, these looms, which are over 200 years old, are still in operational today. We're very proud to continue these traditions, very much in a different context now, in the facility that we have in Kilcar, but we're very, very supportive to retaining the integrity of the original Donegal. So people ask, what differentiates and makes the Donegal Tweed different? So you can see from this image here, the various colors, they're all inspired by the nature around us in Donegal and the variety of the landscape around. There's all these ever-changing colors in the landscape between the different seasons. And a Donegal yarn can consist up to 5 different colors in the base, and we also could incorporate 6 colors, which is this short fiber, which creates this distinctive fleck known as a burr in the yarn. Be quite common you saw it with various different products that Mario and the girls from the stable were showing. They would use, a very popular a Donegal product with that subtle tonal colors within their ranges. There is a specific skill in producing this yarn, and the ability to maintain that fleck while keeping the solid and contrasting features within the base colors. I think it would be wrong not to reference the heritage and the famous Aran tweed, Aran sweater, which is iconic. So, the fishing industry, which very much in the west coast of Donegal, was a very important source of income to families. And the yarn was crucial for knitting the sweaters to protect the fishermen from the extreme weather conditions. The Aran sweater has got worldwide recognition, and it still features both as a classic and a modern contemporary garment in customers' collections year on year. So the mill today, we operate a vertical mill, taking the raw undyed fiber and converting it into a finished yarn. We process 100% natural fibers, predominantly wool, but other noble fibers include mohair, cashmere, alpaca, and silk. Of that, the wool consumption up until 2013, my time with the mill started in 2007. There was very little, if any, Irish wool been processed, and this has been very important to us. Today we produce somewhere in the 220,000 kilos per year, and we currently employ 52 employees. It's very interesting. I know maybe I'm quoting a lot of percentages, but 45% of the yarn that is spun at the mill is processed and manufactured into product in Ireland. A lot of this product is exported all around the world, and we're quite fortunate that our product is very diverse, and that it can be used both in industrial knitting, hand knitting, and weaving. And just again, there's some percentages there of the distribution of our sales and production. So again, part of today's presentation is about the collaborative approach that we have to sustainable fashion. And again, we're talking, you'll hear from Blaneed and Claire later on the specific project that we're working. But there's pretty much 4 pillars to the whole process. It starts with the wool, working with the professional wool graders who are currently in the UK, although a lot of these UK standard wool would be one of the major partners that we have. And they have a presence in Ireland and are responsible for collecting the wool and processing it and presenting it to us as spinners to be able to produce a wonderful product. And we have Ryan Studios, Claire, and just her design and her vision to take this beautiful renewable fiber and exhibit it in some beautiful tapestries and carpet rugs. I think it's also important to reference the education, and we've been supporting an initiative in Ireland called Woolen School, and I think the future of the industry really does depend on educating the younger generation in the value and this amazing natural resource that we have. So again, Claire and Bla are going to speak later about our specific collaboration, but I just thought it would be quite interesting to give you another insight into this journey that Donegal Yarns has gone through, working with the wool merchants to transform this fiber into a marketable product, which is now been sold throughout the world. So this project began in about 2019 when I was in New York doing another presentation at Vogue Knitting, and I had a conversation with a long-established retailer in Ireland, Joan Lucy. Her company is called Yarn Vibes. So I'm just going to play this short video just to give you an idea of the work that has gone into working, this whole supply chain, literally from the farmer taking it to a finished product, and I'll just, hopefully this will play okay.
My name is Joan, and I'm a shopkeeper from County Cork, Ireland. And now I'm an organic wool producer as well, and it has been an incredible journey. And I'd love to share with you the steps we took to ensure our unique offering is 100% sustainable and organic. Music Vine. Along the way, I've been very lucky to meet a number of amazing creators, equally passionate about Irish organic yarn. I met Fergal, an organic farmer from Kildare, 9th generation on his farm.
Going organic gave me a whole different meaning to farming and the way farming could be done and should be done. It's a different way of life, and we're doing tremendous good for the environment.
The fleece is ready to continue its journey to standard wool for a gentle and organic wash before continuing to Chris and his team in Donegal Yarns. The clean organic wool is sent to the blending chamber, breathing life into the fleece. Donegal Yarns is a very special place, an old Irish mill, one of only 4 in this country. Generations of families have tended these machines to keep them turning, and the same machines will turn for generations to come. A community built on a passion for yarn, here spinning the first Irish organic yarn.
What we're doing here now with this project, using natural resources, we're going back to our roots. And I think that's really important. So we're almost reinventing something that's existed for a long time.
The final element of creating Yarn Vibes Organic was, of course, the colour. This is where I met Jennifer, one of a very few hand dyers who use plants to achieve her vibrant colours. She harvests all of her water from the plentiful rainfall in the west of Ireland.
People become more and more conscious about the natural dyeing and how much better it is, but nobody has done that step yet of growing dyes organically. The colour palette for this particular project is very much based on what we can grow here.
Our collection, through its shades, captures the beauty and wildness of our Irish landscape, while preserving it for the future generations. We're sending a little bit of Ireland from our home to yours. What started as a small concept has now become a supportive community, working towards a more fair and sustainable future, one strand at a time. When I started on the journey, I knew we could produce something wonderful, and I also knew we'd be doing something good. We would be doing more than just selling a product. We would be supporting rural Ireland every step of the way. From Virgil, the organic Irish farmer, to Chris, the spinner in Donegal, to Jennifer, the plant-based dyer. Organic is the way to go. Sustainability is our responsibility. We want to spread the word. We want other people to join us on this journey. We want to start an organic trend. From Yarn Vibes Organic in County Cork, we're very happy to be bringing you 100% Irish organic yarn, from sheep to skein.
So hopefully that has given some inspiration and helped you understand what role that Donegal Yarn plays in trying to support all these various different initiatives. And as I said, I think the future is certainly one, respecting our past and looking at being innovative and ways of coming up with through design to help support all the various different designers that are so passionate about their own craft. So just finally, one area that we're very proud that we're the heritage and the provenance, and we feel it's important that we can offer support to the various different customers that we have, and we'd like to certify and offer certificates of origin that allow the customer to be able to place that traceability back to Donegal and the passion that is given and the love that we have for our trade. So happy to take any questions later on, but if I can just hand you back now to Antonia, who can introduce both Blaneed and Claire to talk a bit more specific about the project on the Galway wool. Thank you.